Hi, class. Okay, so I'm not here today, so you're going to be watching this video to go over your notes. I will tell you today's notes are all word problems that you will see on the test. They are very, very similar to questions you're going to see on the test. Okay, so to begin with, we'll do this numeracy because this is definitely something we need to know. There are many answers here, right? So I'm going to write answers will vary. And what that means is essentially there's more than one different way that you could do this. But what you're trying to figure out is what number could we plug in here that when we multiply it over here, we would get 30x. But then I also have to figure out this same number that would get multiplied here would give us 12, or technically negative 12. So if you think about it, you want to come up with common factors. So like a common factor for both 30 and 12, well, we could use 2, right? That's a common factor of both. We could use 3. 4 does not work. 5 does not work. 6 also works. So you could pick any of these 3 numbers to use over here. Let's just say I do 2. If I use 2, well, 2 times what is 30, 30x I should say, and that would be 15. And then 2 times what is negative 12? That would be negative 6. So that's one option, right? You could have also plugged in, you could have said 3, and then this would be 10x, and then this would be 4, right? Or we could have done 6, and this would have been 5x, and this would have been 2. So a couple different answer options here. Any of those would work, essentially trying to remind you about distributing. Okay, go ahead and grab that notes sheet. Okay, hopefully the sub gave you a copy of the notes. If not, make sure you get a copy because you need it to go through this. Like I said, this is going to be on your test. These are the word problems you will see on Wednesday's test. So first question, it says, Xbox One, if you want to buy that, it's essentially $200 for the console, and then it costs $60 per game. Or you could buy the PS4, which is $300 for the console, and then $35 per game. So based on that, we want to figure out which equation matches what is given there. So thinking back to our past modules where we were writing equations like y equals mx plus b, m is the slope, right, and b is the y-intercept. So in this case, our y-intercept is going to be the cost of the system, the console, right? So that's the one-time upfront payment. But then the slope is going to be the amount you pay per game. So this is for the console, and this is for the game. So we would write our equation as 60x plus 200 for the Xbox One, or 35x plus 300 for the PS4. The question is, how many games would you have to buy for these to be equal? So we would need to set the two equations equal to each other. So the correct answer here would have been D, 200 plus 60x equals 300 plus 35x. Those have, the y-intercept and slope switched around, like essentially it did the y-intercept first and then the slope for both of these, but that's fine. It's still, the slope is always multiplied by the x, and that is the case here. Our slope is multiplied by the x in both of those equations or expressions. All right, so now what we have to do is actually solve it. So I'm going to solve 200 plus 60x equals 300 plus 35x. All right, so I'm going to get my variables on the same side, just like we've been doing for a couple weeks now. So I'm going to be left with 200 equals, 200 plus 25x equals 300. Because over here, those canceled. All right, now I'm going to try and get my variable by itself. So I'm going to subtract 200, and I get 25x equals 100. Divide by 25, and x equals 4. So that means I would have to buy 4 video games for the 2 consoles to be costing me the same amount of money. Otherwise, it seems like the PS4 is going to be cheaper in the long run because the games are cheaper. Okay, so that's question 1, just like a question you're going to see on your test. Question 1 and 2, I guess that was. Question 3 here. Write and solve the equation. 17 minus a number is the same as 2 times the number plus 5. So 17 minus a number. When it says minus, we're subtracting, and that's not one of those switch the order problems. That's just exactly how you read it. So 17 minus a number, that's our x, is the same as, we keep talking about this, that is our equal sign. 2 times the number plus 5, that's 2x plus 5. Okay, now I'm going to get the variable by itself, so I minus the 2, I actually moved the variable first to both sides, gosh, I'm just messing all this up, move the variable on the right side, so I'm going to get rid of the 2x. Now I'm going to have 17 minus 3x equals 5. Now I'm going to isolate the variable, so I'm going to start by subtracting 17. Negative 3x is still on the left side. 5 minus 17 is negative 12. Divide by negative 3, and x equals 4. This was not a problem that needed like a label or anything, so we're just finding x. All right, next one. Let's try this one. It says 4 plus 5 times a number is the same as 12 more than the number. All right, so is the same as, that's our equal sign. 4 plus 5 times a number. 4 plus 5x equals 12 more than the number. So technically this should be x plus 12. Now if you do 12 plus x, you're not going to get the wrong answer because the order when it comes to addition doesn't matter, but technically it should be x plus 12. All right, I've got variables on both sides. I'm going to get rid of the variable that's on the right, so I'm getting rid of the x. And now I have 4 plus 4x equals 12. I'm going to subtract 4. So now I have 4x equals 8. Divide by 4, and x equals 2. So I'm solving equations, same way I've been doing, nothing new here, just got to remember it's a Monday, so maybe you forgot over the weekend exactly how to do this, but hopefully at this point your memory's getting refreshed. All right, next question. Emilio took his girlfriend out for dinner for her birthday. He was paying for both meals and wanted to leave a 20% tip. The amount tip he was leaving was $8. His girlfriend's meal cost $20. How much was his own meal? So this is what we don't know. How much his meal costs. That's going to be our x. That's our unknown. Okay, so it's Emilio's meal. That's what we're trying to figure out. Because we know his girlfriend's cost $20. So that means that his meal plus his girlfriend's meal would be written x plus 20. Now, if he's going to leave a 20% tip, we're going to multiply the total cost of the meal, which is x plus 20, times 0.2, 20%. And they leave an $8 tip. Okay, you could write 0.2 as 0.02, or sorry, not 0.02, 0.20 if you want, or you can just write 0.2. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter, right? 20%. So I'm going to distribute, and I'm going to get 0.2x, or 0. You know what, instead of confusing you, I'm just going to write 0.20x, and then plus 0.20 times 20 is 4 equals 8. Subtract the 4, so cancels there. 0.20x equals 4. We'll divide, and we get x equals 20, which means that his meal also cost $20. So both of their meals were $20. 20 plus 20 is $40, and 8 is 20% of 40. So both their meals were 20 bucks. All right, our final problem here, we did this one last week. It was actually, we did it in class, and then you had to do it on the back of your homework. So hopefully it'll look familiar to you. So it says the shapes provided below are equilateral. So we've got a square and an equilateral triangle. The perimeter of both are equal. So the perimeter here are equal. So we have to find x and then find the perimeter. Okay, so our square is given, the side is given to us as x plus 2. Well, that means that every side here would be x plus 2. So the perimeter would be 4 times x plus 2. That's our perimeter. Now for the triangle, it's only 3 sides, right? So since it's only 3 sides, that means all 3 sides here are 2x minus 2. So then I would write my perimeter as 3 times 2x minus 2. Again, it's because a square has 4 sides that I'm multiplying by 4, and a triangle has 3 sides that I'm multiplying by 3. Now they told us that these perimeters are equal, so I'm going to solve my equation setting these equal. I have to distribute on both sides. Don't forget to distribute to that second number in parentheses. So you're going to have 4x plus 8 equals 6x minus 6. A lot of people keep forgetting, and they'll do like 4x plus 2 and 6x minus 2. So they multiply the first term, but they forget the second. All right, we're going to solve. Let negative 2x plus 8 equals, my x is canceled here, negative 6 minus 8. And you get negative 2x equals negative 14. Divide both sides by negative 2, and x equals 7. Now 7, you guys, is not the perimeter. 7 is the value that we plug in for x. So if you come back to our square up here, right? So if we're looking at this square, I am going to replace the x with the number 7. So 7 plus 2 is 9. That means that all 4 sides here are 9. So I would do 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So that means my perimeter is 36 units. So finding x doesn't find the perimeter, it finds the number that I have to plug in for x. You could have also plugged in for the x and the triangle. You should have gotten the same perimeter though, because they told us the perimeters are equal. Okay, so there's kind of 2 parts to this problem. You have to first find x and then find the perimeter. Okay, so those are your notes. Hopefully you took good notes here. Remember, you can always go back and pause and write stuff down if needed. All of these questions are going to be on your test, so make sure you understand them. All right, what you're going to do now is there is a worksheet for you to do. That worksheet is going to get collected tomorrow. You can turn it in today if you finish early, but it is going to be collected tomorrow for points, so make sure you get it done. And if you finish that, there is an escape room linked on the daily lesson guide. All right, make sure you get those things done. Thanks so much. Have a great day.